So buddies, let me show you how you can create a very first your ECS instance on Alibaba Cloud and how you can connect with your this VPC. So what you have to do now, you have to click on this blade, and when you see this Elastic Compute Service, you can click on this option, and then the page will be redirected to you on the ECS console. And what you have to do now, once you redirect it, you get it to you in the India region. So before you creating a ECS instance, you need to make sure you are creating your ECS instance under the required region. So what you have to do now, you have to click on create instance now, and then you have to have two options here. The one is quick launch. The quick launch is it's like whatever the instance are already available, you just select and select the images available, and you can create the instances. But I will show you in detail steps. You have to click on custom launch, and then you have to select the billing method. You want to go for pay as a go or the subscription basis. Here subscription is based on the monthly or the yearly basis, and the pay as you go means the VM is going up and running till the time whatever the resources you are utilizing. So it is going to be billed on our basis or on hourly basis. So what I will do, I will choose pay as a go option, and because we have created our very first VPC in Mumbai, and that was in under zone A, so I have to select zone A, and then what I have to do, I have to select the instance type. What is the instance type I would need it. So there are various category available, starting from general purpose and compute and memory. So these are all categories, defined categories by Alibaba, and you can choose whatever is your requirement. As per if you have something very normal computation, so you can start with entry level shared. That is what I'm going to choose here for the demo purpose. So what I will do, I will select a burstable type 6 and 2 vCPU with 2 GB of RAM. And what I will do now, I'm going to select the public image from this image options available. So before I'm going to select this public image, I want to explain you what are these different categories are here. So if you have require something where you need more memory optimized ECS instance, then you have to click on this, and you will get the memory. You will able to create a ECS instance where is having large memory is available based on the computation where you need more memory. And when your process would be require more compute than memory, then you have to select the compute option. You will get as per the compute you needed, you can select, and corresponding to the memory or the physical processor are available. So it means what I'm trying to say here, whatever the computation or the memory utilization or based on your process, what you are going to run on that particular ECS instance, you are going to select the categorization of your ECS instance type. And I'm going to go back to and select my burstable type 2 vCPU and 2 gig of RAM. And then what I'm going to do here, there are different images options are available. So when you say public image, it means the images are available from Alibaba side. It is they are providing their own images. So what you have to do, when you click here, you will get different OS the images available here. So starting with, you can see that if I select Windows Server, you have different edition of Windows Server available, starting from 2019 Chinese edition and English language edition. Similarly, you have 2016 server, 2012 and 2008 as well. So that is what is available in under public image. So let me choose here, let me go back and I can select some, okay, let me select CentOS OS here, and let me select the version. I can go and select the latest version is available from the CentOS OS. And if I'm going to select this custom image, so custom image is something if you created your own image and you wanted to reuse, for the for the cloud, for the production environment again and again, or you have created some custom image for DevOps environment and you want to use it again for your DevOps purpose. So that is altogether, you can create your custom image by installing the tools or application, pre-installed application over there, or the tools, whatever you want to do, development for your organization level. So you can use and select the custom. If I'm going to drag down, you will not see any custom image as of now. I will also showcase how to create a custom image in the next series. So, and the shared images between, you can create one image which you want to shared between different regions altogether. For example, you create one image in India region and you want it to be shared with in Europe or in China region, or in any other region, what are the regions are available. So you can select shared image and then you can take it down and you can select the image. And the marketplace image is something, the images are available outside I would say the Alibaba platform, but these are, whatever the images are available, it is they are the partners with Alibaba. For example, there are certain security solutions are available. For example, FortiGate, so they are available third-party solution. So you can buy a specific image which you need to use for security purpose. Similarly, we have load balancers available from Citrix, so you can buy certain images they are available for the NetScaler, so you can use it for your own purpose. So you need to buy those images from the marketplace. I will showcase the portal where you can log in and know what other third-party images are available. So for now I'm going to select the public image, and let me choose here Ubuntu, for example, and I'm going to select the 18 version. And if you're going to select the security enhancement, the option is there, so that is needed. If I click here, you can read it here, load ECS security component for free. So it means if you want to monitor your OS at the security level, so detect, and it will prevent you from any kind of if you have any ECS instance, you're running website over there, so it will run the backend processes which will check what is backdoor detection, is any event is going to be happen on your machine, on the virtual instances, or you can see who all log in on your ECS instance altogether. And there is brute force blocking is also enabled. So you is recommended to enable when you are going to create any ECS instance for the production or the DevOps environment on the Alibaba Cloud platform. So going forward, what you have to do now, you have to select the storage type. This is referring here as a system disk. So if you need ECS instance here for POC purpose, and I don't need any specific IOPS here, but however, if you need any IOPS requirement, you need a specific application, you need a disk IOPS from the application requirement, then I would say you have to go with standard SSD, because that is going to having different IOPS. That is 3000 for the SSD requirement. But for now I'm going to select the ultra disk here. And this is what here is one thing is mentioned here, release with instance. So that is referring here, if you're going to create any ECS instance and if you have not going to select this option. So for example, if you created ECS instance for now and you want to be release it, when I say release it, it's going to be delete your ECS instance from this Alibaba Cloud platform. So what you are going to do, when you select this and you in future if you want to delete this in ECS instance along with this the system disk, then you have to select this option, and then at the time you're going to delete the ECS instance, this ultra disk is also going to be deleted at the same time. So, and you can also do additional disk add. For this is for the operating system, If you need any additional disk, for example here you can select ultra disk and select the capacity you needed and the how many quantity you required in that particular system ECS instance. And you also want to release that when you are going to release a ECS instance, so at the same time you want to delete the ultra disk or you want it to be retained on the cloud storage. And you can also create these snapshots. I will give you a complete brief about the what is a snapshot. And when you enable the disk encryption, this will also improve the the security which is needed to as per your business applications or the process needed. So it is always recommended to encrypt the disk, but if in situation you are unable, you are not going to enable during the creation of ECS instance, you cannot enable this disk encryption in future. So it is always recommended to go and check this option when you have to enable encryption on the disk level. So for now I don't need this disk, and I'm going to click on next networking. It is saying some giving some information, so I'm going to click on confirm here. Okay, so after I click on the networking part here, the next information what we have to select, the network type is VPC. So now we have to align and connect our ECS instance, or I would say we need to dangle our ECS instance. So we need to choose which VPC you want to be connect your ECS instance. So here we have one VPC created as I showed you, and we have one vSwitch that is again in zone A. In case you have I will give you if I go back here for example, and if I show you, I mean you have created your vSwitch in zone A, but if you have selected a zone B here, and if you click next by any situation, you enable to see vSwitch details, because the originally you have created your vSwitch in zone A, so you have to choose zone A in that situation only. So what you have to I have to go back now. Here I have to select zone A, and I need to check the okay, this is perfect. Let me click next. Okay, so this is one thing. You have already selected your VPC and vSwitch here, and I was talking about the security groups. So when you create your very first the ECS instance as we are creating here, so you can see by default you have the default security group. And if you go and see here, the default under default security groups, it is allowed port 22, 3389 and ICMP. I won't recommend you to, when you create any ECS instance, you have to allow certain ports. So this is again a security breach. You need to make sure which security groups you are going to be create, and you have to select accordingly. So that is one thing. And second thing is I will show you how to create a security group in the next session. And what you have to do here, you have, if you need your ECS instance to have a public IP address, so you can assign this public IP address here. However, when you select the public IP here for your ECS instance, what you have to do now, you can select the bandwidth billing. I mean, you want your, because this if you need your ECS instance to have a public IP address, so you can assign this public IP address here. However, when you select the public IP here for your ECS instance, IP is free, but what you have to pay for the traffic. So you want to pay by traffic or you want to pay by bandwidth. So what I can do now, I can pay by traffic here, and I choose 20 Mbps bandwidth. So that means this bandwidth is allow us to connect at maximum of 20 megabit per second. So this is something you can choose up to 80 Mbps for now, and click next on the system configuration now. and by the time you reach this system configuration, this is optional, but I would recommend to create a login credentials at the time of ECS instance. You can do it later anyhow, but I would recommend to do it at the initial stage. So you can do a key pair. That is the most recommended, the preference to set a key pair to log in to your ECS instance. But we can also choose the password here. So let me set a root password here. So I have selected a root password here for this demo, and what you have to do, a instance name. And you guys, you can see here there is two different things. The one is instance name and the host name. So whatever you're going to give and assign in instance name, this is a logical name. So let me set here ECS 01 demo in India, Mumbai zone A. So this is the logical name, and what I'm going to do here, if I'm going to create a ECS instance, you can give any nomenclature as your organization or enterprise is following. So I am just giving for ECS 01, and I would say web server. So this is for example, if I'm creating any server for web services, so I can mention here web, and then I will click on next in grouping, and I will here you can, if you're creating a number of virtual machines all together, so you want it to be grouped all together. For example, I have 1,000 of web servers in belongs to the same category of the application. So you can create web, and you can say something, I would say Citrix. So whatever the web servers I'm creating, it belongs to Citrix. I would say prod, and I will give the tag number 1. And the deployment sets here, I would give you some example is, if you having a scenario like DevOps environment and you have production environment, so you need to be select if you are going to create a new virtual machine with new application, and you have to test something in your production. But before production, you need to make sure you have to test it out in the DevOps environment, where you have a set of UAT users. So you, instead of putting down that particular ECS instance directly on the production, you have to be tested out first in DevOps environment. So you can set your deployment set here. You can define it. One deployment set is for a DevOps and the other is for the production. So if you have already a similar kind of application is running in your production environment, and you want it to be tested out before DevOps, so you set a deployment set for that particular UAT users a DevOps environment. But once you tested your application altogether in the environment and you find this is the perfect, and you have not identified any bugs or any errors during the UAT testing, and you wanted to be swap your the recently deployed ECS instance with the production machine, then you can select here and you can select the the production deployment set. So for now we don't have any deployment set here, and we can go on the next screen here. So this is the most last screen where you can see all the details about what basic configuration you have selected, which region, the networking, the system configuration, and the grouping part. This here at one point, if you created any ECS instance based on the specific time, and you want it to be release your ECS instance by, for example, today's 24th of January, and I wanted to be delete and release my ECS instance automatically by before 24th of January. So I can select this option and specify the region and the time. So it's going to be delete automatically from here, from the Alibaba platform. And then we have to select the term of services and create instance here. So okay, So what is going to, why I'm getting this error and information, because I have not given any information about my credit card information. So if I need to be create any ECS instance, I need to be put down my credit card details. So for now, I'm going to be stop this session until I'm going to put down my the personal information, personal credit card information on the website, and then I will continue. Guys, before I'm going to enter my personal credit card information here, I wanted to be share some information. I'm talking about the account type. So when you create any account, which I explained you initially in my very first web series, you can create your enterprise account or the personal account. So when you create an enterprise account, by default you will get the free trial worth of $1,300. There are certain services which you can consume free of cost, and with personal account you can create certain services at max of $450 for the trial worth. So for now I'm going to select the personal account, and now I have to enter my all details. So for now I'm going to be pause this session. Friends, you can see that after creating I click on the create instance. This instance has been created now. So let me click on console. So this page will redirected again back to us on the ECS console on the Alibaba Cloud platform. So guys, you can see that recently we have created our very first ECS instance, and this instance is I have created for just for this POC and for this web series. And you can see that as I explain, when you create any resource on the Alibaba Cloud platform, any resource, so we have dedicated or unique instance ID. So you can see that if I click on this, you will redirect on the ECS instance which we have just created now. So let me go back, and we have we have got this ECS instance right now. It's up and running, and you can see that this ECS instance is having one private IP which is assigned from the IP CIDR address range. If I go back to PPC, and we have created a one vSwitch which has a CIDR range of 192.168.0.0/24. So we have received one IP address for our ECS instance. If I go back again and show you here, the ECS instance is received one of the private IP address from the range which we have selected, and we have got additional one public IP address. So you can see that this VM is running with with one public IP address and one private IP address. But friends, you can see that this VM is running up and running. Let's connect to this VM, and before connecting to this VM, I wanted to show you how the resources it's showing here, the 2 vCPU and 500 MB 512 MB RAM, and this we have chosen a 20 Mbps bandwidth, and the billing method we have chosen pay as a go. If I click on this VM ECS instance, so you can see that we have certain other things which we have talked about initially. So we have one if I click on the disk, so we have taken a ultra disk of 40 gigs which is having 2120 IOPS as it is standard, and we have not encrypted our disk. So if we need to encrypt anything over here, we cannot make it. We start from the scratch to creation of ECS instance, then only we can encrypt our disk. And if we go to the snapshot, so I will cover this snapshot. This is a kind of backup you can create for your ECS instance. Just we have created. So if we need to create take a backup of your machines on the Alibaba Cloud platform, so this is one of the way you can take your snapshots of the ECS instance. Snapshots, in a single statement, I would say that the first time is going to take a complete backup of your image, and then every time you're going to create a snapshot of the same ECS instance, it will create a incremental backup. So when I say incremental, it will compare the difference between the disk and the new changes you made in your the ECS instance is going to be capture those it will capture those incremental backup under snapshot process. And we have when you create your any ECS instance on the Alibaba Cloud, this is going to be configured and created with your one of the first ENI. So when you talk about and you think about the ENI, it's similar to the network interface card when you create your very first virtual machine on any of the the bare metal solution like VMware or Citrix or Microsoft. So it is similar to ENI network, the card which you get it from while creating a ECS instance on the Alibaba platform. And this is going to be assigned here your private IP address, and this VM is located under your Mumbai zone A, as we already discussed. And need to private IP address, and this VM is located under your Mumbai zone A, as we already discussed. And the security group, the complete explanation, and will show you the demo in my next one of the next session.